Welcome back to Resilience Unplugged. I am Renee, and we're going to get into 3 needle movers that I made personally to help me start building my dream life. Now, these by no means are things that you need to do, but I do think that getting insight on things that helped me could help you to think of things that maybe could help you, or you could adopt these things as well. We're starting up hot because this first one, I have seen so many people go up in arms about this not being the one thing you have to do. It's not that important. You can achieve your goals without doing said thing, and you 100% can. Again, these are things that I personally have done and noticed a major shift in how I approach my day and my life to be able to start creating that dream life. And that's waking up earlier. I wake up usually around, it depends, usually 4 or 5 in the morning. I will usually train earlier in the morning or I'll get some work done. But I have found a tremendous shift in how I approach my day with waking up earlier. One, you have so much more time to get things done and have the morning to yourself. You also, if you have a business or if you have a very jam-packed schedule, it's so nice to be up early when no one else is awake and no one else needs you or can actually contact you because they're still in their bed asleep. It's so nice to have that moment of solitude, a couple of hours, an hour in the morning, just to get ready and be with yourself and be present. Have a good morning routine. A morning routine is so helpful. I'm telling you, so helpful. And if you give yourself an hour or 2 hours in the morning before you have to actually start your day, you have so much more time. It can be a slower morning. You're not sitting there rushing to get your clothes ready for the day, get your meals packed, and you're not sitting there having to be in a frenzy when you first wake up. You can be calm and collected and have time to yourself and get after your day. This again has helped me a lot. The second thing that I did to start building my dream life was audit what I was consuming. This means intentionally and also unintentionally. We can get so much stress and anxiety and insecurity from the things we're consuming, and you may not even realize it. So for me, this was looking through my social media. It was looking at the songs I was consuming, the shows on TV I was watching. I audited everything and I made sure that the things I was going to consume were going to serve my future self. This looked like removing people from my social media who maybe brought up some like ruffled feelings underneath, whether it was insecurity or comparison or just negative emotions ultimately that I knew were not going to help me be in the right mindset to pursue what I wanted to pursue. I also looked at what I was consuming visually. So, YouTube videos and TV shows and movies. And I was going to watch things that I knew were going to serve that future version of myself. So, I removed things that no longer helped me to grow and think and really educate myself. Now, I will still occasionally listen to a true crime podcast because I do love those. And like if I need to get my head out of what I'm in and kind of get it into a different area, I will listen to some, gossipy podcasts if I want to, but that's not a majority of what I'm consuming. I also am very intentional with how I consume that and the state of my mindset. If I'm in a bad mindset, I'm not going to watch some gossip podcast or crime podcast. I will listen to something at that point that's going to help me to get out of that funk. The last thing that I did, which can be really hard, is removing people who are no longer serving me. And this can seem very selfish and very not nice ultimately. And I want you to know that when I think of friendships, I do think of it as a service. I think of me serving somebody else and someone else serving me and us being able to together help each other grow and be better and support each other and do more. I don't love friendships that I feel drained when I'm around somebody, or I'm being judged for what I'm doing, or they're not supporting me, right? And at this point when I was cutting people off, I had a lot of friendships that I could not fully be myself in. I felt judged. I felt unsupported. And so our lives just no longer matched up. And I think it's very mature to remove people from your life that are no longer serving you, not in a rude way of like, you have to serve me, But I do think that friendship is a service, and I want to serve my friends. I want to help them to be better and grow and do more things and to love their life more and challenge them. And I want a friend to do the same back to me. And so I think a lot of times whenever we are going through these shifts and this growth is happening, it can become really uncomfortable because you're usually alone. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat it for you, but I will say the friends that I do have are solid. I'm very proud to have the friends that I have. I'm very proud of the friendships I have been able to cultivate and continue cultivating. And that is an amazing feeling to be proud of your friends, like not just to have friends and have people to go hang out with and have people to go grab drinks with and go do things just because you want someone around you, but friendships that truly help me and challenge me and help me to grow, and where we both parties are going to feel fulfilled because we really enjoy each other. And that's an amazing feeling. And I've never really had that until this point in my life. I've always just been around people who I just kind of fell into friendships, I guess. Like I've always fallen into friendships, and I've always I did not have the best friend picker, I will say. And I've lost a lot of people along the way. And it's hard and it sucks and it's not fun. But I think looking back now and where I am currently and where I know my life's going to go, I'm so thankful I did that, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not be on this podcast today. I would not have my business. I would not be doing the things I'm doing now if I was still surrounded by the people that I was surrounded by years back, because where I'm at, I dreamed and prayed for 100%. But some people that I was around at that point, people will project on you and they'll project their insecurities. They will project their scarcity mindset. And I got caught up in that. And I believed a lot of that because I thought my friends wanted what was best for me. And a lot of times they do. I think too, though, people will always speak from their experience. I chose to create my own business. That's not safe at all. There are so many unknowns, but I think that being on this journey is the greatest thing I ever could have done for myself. And I held myself back a long time pursuing this because I was around people who doubted me. And so I started doubting myself. And that's on me 100%. But I do think that if you're around people who do see more for what you can do and do believe in you and do want you to go after what you want to go after, whether it's something that they would do or not, they're going to support you in that. And there is something so beautiful about a friendship like that. And so removing people from your life can be really hard and really challenging, and you feel awful about it. But you have to think from the mindset of, what would my future self do? Would my future self, for me, that was somebody who had a business, who had employees, who was an entrepreneur, who was starting to different things and really challenging herself. Would somebody like that be friends with people who I was friends with? Ultimately, people who did think small and did look down on me and did talk negatively to me. No, she would never put up with that. And so if you step into those shoes of what your future self would do, how she would act, how she would show up, it does make these decisions a lot easier. In our coaching company, we have what's called your filter. And your filter is your decision-making filter. It's what you are going to run all things you are making a decision on through. And so I want you to do that. I want you to make your own filter of, think about where you're at right now, your filter, where you want to be, and run everything you have to make a decision on through this filter. If your future self would not say yes to this, if your future self would not agree with this, if your future self is not going to be served by this, you're saying no to it. If your future self would be served, if she would agree with that, if she would think it's the best thing you're going to do for yourself, say yes to it. Having that filter has helped me so much. And being able to make decisions not based on emotion, but based on an objective perspective, which I believe to be the most helpful in these scenarios. Because whenever you're in your life, you are in the thick of it. You are having all of your emotions, you have all the variables, you have everything, every choice you could make running through your head. And You will tie your emotion to everything you do. And making decisions based on emotion, you probably have found you usually regret down the road. If you can make a decision that's really hard based on an objective perspective, so based on what the facts are, you likely will not regret it. It may be hard in the moment, but you're not going to have that lingering regret because you did it for who you want to become, not who you are today. And I hope that that really resonates with you. And I really hope you take this and you create that filter and you maybe make 3 things you can start doing today that would help you, whether it could not be any of these 3 things that I said at all. It could be something totally different, but I really challenge you to create a couple of things, 2 to 3 things that you can start doing today that would serve your future self, and make those decisions and run with them. And also create that filter to help you to make those decisions not based on emotion, but based on fact and based on an objective perspective. I hope this helps. I hope you'll have an amazing rest of your week. I will see you next week, and go be resilient.